That was so nice. It was like.
It was 7 or something. Yeah. Yep. We have multiple Christmases this weekend.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 9:01. Excuse me. Roll call.
Janice Murphy,
Present.
Don Jackson.
Here.
Mary Alice Glasswell,
Present.
Chris Saylor,
Present.
Mary Beth Stivers.
Here.
Cheryl Steen,
Here.
and myself.
Item 3, rescind appointments of election inspectors. I'll make the motion to rescind the appointments of the elections inspectors. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All those who abstain?
Aye.
You got 2 abstained,
2 abstain.
Murphy and
Stivers. Confirmation appointments of election inspectors. Sorry, my brain got stuck. I'll entertain a motion to confirm the appointments of election inspectors.
I'll make that motion. As listed on the list.
Motion by Chris Saylor, second.
I'll second.
Second by Don Jackson. We'll do a roll call vote on this one.
Don
Yes.
Jackson. Chris Saylor,
Yes.
Mary Alice Glasswell,
Yes?
Janice Murphy,
Abstain. I abstain.
2 abstained,
So,
Murphy and Stivers.
Murphy and Stivers. Review employee holiday schedule and consider changes to holidays.
Okay, we currently have 10 or 8 paid holidays, is what we had up, and then we have 2 floating holidays. And then some of them are working 10-hour days now, and some of them are working 8-hour days, so, there's a couple different ways to handle things. So I'm gonna throw this out here to see what people had thought.
Did you talk with them before?
No, I did not. So.
How does content work? Cause I know this was listed amongst the options.
Yeah, right now, if they do some snow plowing outside of normal hours, they'll have comp time that they can take. And then normally if they can take that whenever they want to, or the other thing.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and then the other thing is we try to zero it out at the end of the year, so if they don't use it, then we pay it out type thing. We've done, so that way we don't carry anything over. Comp.
And if they. And they usually end up with a fair amount of content.
They do.
They don't depend storm
Like
wise.
this storm.
This year's gonna be a big year.
We usually have 8 to 10 snowstorms in a heavy year, and then a slower year, you might have 3 to 5. And then you got the storms in the summer type thing, depending on, and occasionally there's a water main
Water
break
problem.
or a sewer at the plant, something has to be done, so it varies. I would say you're probably looking at anywhere from, you think 120 to 150 hours a year, probably, about in that area, usually. That ends up happening at times, just because of emergencies. So, right now, we've pretty much done it where if they've gotten, she did the last couple of payrolls where they had comp, they built that at the same time when we did the holiday, they complemented the two, or added them together, and that's how they did it. But they just happen to have it available this time, so I guess I just want to bring it up here for a discussion.
How does any other workforce do that? I
I think it varies because some of them are more, like in bigger communities, they have more segregation between the departments. And with Public Works, we throw water, sewer, parks,
Everything.
airport,
Yeah.
buildings all into one. So it's a little bit different, than if someone's strictly a water department that had
Right.
6 people in there, you may not have as much issues, so. And if you guys wanna think about it for a while, we could end up having it at our next meeting for discussion too. We just have been handling it, we'll handle it the same way on the next
Right.
payroll, so it's up to you guys.
That's just a question, on the backside, looking at the solution options, where it says like solution for all employees would have 80 hours of holiday pay where versus, 2 up above the 88. If we did solution 4, but yet they're, just say if, and if they were used to having that extra hours on there, would that be too much of a payroll problem? They're like, well, I always have that, I'm just gonna be short on my paycheck or whatever. Could they still do their comp time, or would that be an
We could-
option if they wanted to?
We could do that.
But they didn't have to. Okay, just wondering.
We could do it, just more work on the end of it, on Cheryl's. And then, 2 hours here, 2 hours there type thing. Just
Is it, this item 2 would be,
solution.
oh, that's for this one?
Yeah. I just figured it was easier to have up those and show you.
Yeah.
Is there a rush to get this?
Well, we can do it how we've done it for the next payroll, council payrolls and do it
I'm just thinking end of the year and.
yeah, first of the year is what
Yeah.
we're looking, if we want to change anything. And the other thing is, I could have a discussion with our people and see if they have some answers, what they would prefer to see too, and I could come back with what they're thinking, but I just didn't want to bring that up till it went to the board for discussion.
Yeah, I would kind of be curious to see what they would think, what they felt would be fair between the 8 hour and 10 hour. We don't want to short anybody,
But at the same time, the 8 hour and 10 hour people are still both based on a 40-hour week, right?
Right.
But it comes on that holiday. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And that thing's,
I'd like to mull this over a little bit.
Yeah.
okay.
Same.
Yeah, I think they will
Sides of
come
it,
back
yeah.
with it. I think solution 4 is interesting to consider, but there's some stuff to think through.
Well, I can place it on our next board agenda, and then do you want me to have a discussion with our staff here?
Yes, please.
At least get their input, okay, they can't hurt.
Would this have to be an open session or?
Well, it
If it's a
depends on if they
negotiation.
wanna negotiate back and forth. We
Right.
could bring them in and have a negotiation take place
Okay.
too, if you
So
want.
that's an option.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So the review of employee holiday schedule and consider changing to the holidays will be discussed again at the January board meeting.
Yep.
Item number 6, consider a request by Kevin Bacon, purchase of a parcel of land. Arthur?
I provided you guys a map of it. It's a triangle piece behind Peatwell Industries, way in the back, behind the ditch. The only thing that would come into play here is right now, I believe if we just sold a little chunk that they're requesting, it'd be a landlocked parcel, so I have to check with the surveyor on that. And then the other thing is we did give Peatwell Industries, when they built their first right of refusal for any additional land that they need for expansion. In all likelihood, they would not mess with going across the river, or the yellow, stream. Yeah, because that is considered a navigable stream, so, I'd have to get something signed off on them, but he wanted to at least have it brought forward so you guys could think about it, and then we could also end up having a discussion, or at that point, there's not been anything as far as, cost or offer or anything like that, just an interest, letter of interest we received.
So is this part that he's asking the same as the red part
Yep.
here? Okay.
And right now it abuts town properties, town of Necedah properties and village, and that's a village piece in the back. Now, what the plan was originally, if you guys remember, we discussed the water main down Kingsbury before we paved it. The idea was to run a water main down Kingsbury and then connect into the back of the water tower, which sits right next to Peatwell Industries there to the west, and then that would loop our water main. And that was our gateway or our ability to get back in there. Now, our next step will be probably, looking if we're gonna use a water main out of the back of the tower. We almost gotta go south there anyway, in there to get, and probably connect into the schools and be where they have their fire protection there, because everything's on a single water line going down there. So even if you guys decided you wanted to do something there with working with the property, we'd probably wanna have something in place that we can put the water main in.
East New Jersey.
Yeah, and most likely that would probably be a horizontal bore of some sort, because I am sure you're dealing with floodplain stuff in there because of the
Oh, yeah.
navigable stream and things like that, but that should be, and that's the only thing I see is the issue is the looping of the water main.
Is he aware of that?
No, he's just looking at for hunting and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is, we still could open that up as a hunting area. We have the ordinance to do that, and it would, the only thing it would be impacting is probably the people in Kingsbury and Benton Court would probably not like that. So they're hunting on their own land right now. Cause there's really no huge benefit other than utility for us. The utilities are very, and we still would have to work with the railroad to get underneath the railroad on that end of it. And there's really no access to go off Kingsbury Drive and drive back in there. We'd have to,
Right, I mean,
but
we've dealt with that.
But we own it, right?
we own it right now.
So this would bring in some tax dollars.
It would bring in some tax dollars.
Not
It's
a
just
huge
that,
amount, but some.
but I don't think they'd let us sell it as a landlocked parcel, you know, because we usually have to have road access to it. And right now,
He's the best option for that.
it is, and then he's in the town and one
Well,
in the
you can
village,
take a
so.
boat in there.
so
Is his property mostly in township?
It is, because that tax parcel number, if you look at the map lower,
On the
is
other side.
29028, that means it's the town, and 29161 is the village, so that's the difference. So I would have to consult with a surveyor and with the county, but this parcel would be made as landlocked, and they normally don't let you do that, so it would have to probably be, something figured out there. And the railroad right away, I don't believe is gonna help him for access, because normally 25 feet on each side of the track, they don't want anybody in that area, so.
And that was my question, was how the railroad would feel.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that I have to have some questions, but I guess I wanted to see if there was interest in us going forward on looking at it, then I'll do some more investigation and bring back information. You're probably looking, you know, there's not a whole lot of value there. You know, and the thing is, I don't think it makes sense for us to leave, a strip of land all the way out to the Kasurik to make it non-landlocked. That wouldn't make sense for us. And Piedmont Industries, I'd go and talk to them over there and say, hey, what's your future plans and what you're looking for? I'm sure that they're not gonna get into anything for floodplain stuff, they won't wanna deal with that, I'm thinking.
Where is,
Yeah, I mean,
is his access to the property off of 23rd here?
His access, is it meaning?
Like how he gets to his house? Or
His
is there
house
no
goes down by that little church, if you go down by the little church on
Oh, okay,
Baptist church.
Baptist Church, then you
so
track,
it's off of 23rd.
and they come all the way back in there.
So for him, he could just basically walk it or
He can walk in there,
get
yeah.
a little bridge over the river or something.
Well, the bridge thing's a whole different DNR thing, so.
That's true.
you can
um,
fly in there.
Could have a rope swing.
He could,
Oh, it looks like.
he could get in the backside of it that way,
Yeah.
but,
Well, yeah, he could come, yeah.
but I'd have to see, but if there is interest, then I'll get those questions answered and bring it
I
back.
think the
Why
main
not?
concern would be any long-term potential, like you mentioned.
The utility part of it would be the long term, I would think, because that's the only way we can loop the water main probably right now, unless we'd go down 23rd Street past the church, go all the way down, and that way and around. We ended up on 25th Street by Creative Builders, we stubbed water main back off on that way, so we actually loop it going into the ethanol plant someday, so it goes down just enough to be hooked on without disrupting anything in the road, is what we did when we put the water main to the ethanol plant. So, it's available there, and it added hydrants in that area, so if you drive down, you can see where the hydrants are. But we thought we'd put a T in there just in case. So, that was my thought when we were looking at it before bringing it down, is having a connection down there, so it's not single. Because our water main right now is single all the way from pretty much, Kasurik all the way down to the church. So if we had a water main break in there, there's no way you could turn off valves and continue with water service. We'd have to shut down water at both the church and the school. And the ethanol plant too, if it broke. You know, so that's long-term what we had for our plan, so. And this loop would take it down, we could take it down to probably 25th Street if we went through that back area. We'd probably wanna work with the school, we'd work with probably the town garage, you know, down there and try to run it down, and then 25th is already stopped, loop it to that point. And then you could probably feed the ethanol plant through their access road that comes off 25th in the back. There's one that goes up there that they don't use that much, but that was sort of the idea. You know, but without going down Kingsbury, that was probably the shortest one road and probably would have been the least expensive.
Well, we discussed that.
Yeah. And now with the road in there, it wouldn't make sense ripping it up to redo it.
But yeah, it's a hard, no matter wherever you go, it's gonna be roadblocks, literally.
Well, and, you know, there is really no other way, everything else on the west or east side of Highway 80 is, town on that
Right.
side, so, we've looked at whether we have more storage available up above, but then it depends on growth to the south. And a water tower, right now where it's located, does serve well its current,
Yeah.
what's current in the village limits. I mean, we haven't had any issues there. I guess if there's interest, I can get those types of questions answered as far as how the landlocked parcel, issue, and then as far as, the utility easement, and then, as far as Peatwell Industries, getting them to say if there's interest. Those would be the big things. So I could do that and come back.
Information came through.
And then at some point, if there's a negotiation that's taking place over, amounts and stuff, there may be exchanges of proposals back and forth, so.
So we just let them know we're investigating this.
Yeah, I just thought if that's what I'm gathering from you guys, it's worth investigating.
Oh, definitely.
Please.
Okay.
Okay, so that'll be brought back at a future meeting when
Get those
we
answers.
have more projects, more information
Right.
to bring forward. Okay. Having no other business, I will call the meeting adjourned at 9:19.